Hi guys, so today we are talking all about contrast levels. So when we're thinking about contrast levels, we're really thinking about basically how light or dark your most harmonious colors are going to be. And that largely is determined by how light or dark your contrasting features are. So before I get further into the video, I do want to say that I have decided to include some subscriber photos in this video. And if you want your photos to be included in future videos, you can submit your photos through the photo submission portal on my website, where you can click a little checkbox and it'll say, that you agree for me to use your photos in YouTube videos. So whenever I use subscriber photos, I always get questions about if they are also consult photos. No, my consult photos are always private. I offer consults through my website. So these are some real life examples of you guys, subscribers who have submitted your photos for use in YouTube videos. And let's all say thank you to these ladies for letting me use their photos so that we can take a look and learn about color. Okay, so let's talk about contrast levels. So the thing with contrast levels is that I feel like it is something that is really sort of difficult to explain, but it's very easy to see. So you can see that, so this is Lupita on the left and the Cool and Radiant lady, and I did a video on her that I'll leave a link to down below, and they both look amazing in cool, bright, and light colors, but you can see that their contrast levels are very different. The Cool and Radiant lady on the right looks good in light colors because she is low contrast and light. Lupita on the left looks good in light colors because she is high contrast, because the whites of her eyes and her teeth create a high level of contrast with her deep skin, and she's high contrast, but she also looks good in the same colors. So it can get really confusing when we're talking about high or low contrast, because we have to ask ourselves, contrast with what? Right? We're talking about a weird situation, because other factors about coloring, like temperature and chroma, those are both of the skin tone itself. But when we're talking about contrast, it can get confusing. So I like to do things a little bit differently, and I like to simply ask two questions, and I want to show you guys sort of some examples of how you can find your best value range. So the first question you want to ask yourself is, how dark are my roots and eyebrows, and how dark is my hair? So the easiest thing you guys can do is to just wear colors that are about as dark as your hair. So you can see this lady here, she has dark hair and she looks good in a dark color, and that's because her dark hair lays against her light skin and the dark color lays against her light skin, and we repeat that pattern. So that's all we're doing when we're thinking about contrast levels or anything like that. So that looks really amazing on her. I would say she is most likely cool toned. And again, if your hair is dark, wear dark colors. It's a really good rule of thumb for most people. You can see the pattern of her dark hair to her relatively light skin is repeated by her top, and that looks really amazing. And now we have another example, and I would say this lady is most likely cool toned as well. And we also have another example, and she is cool and delicate, and you can see that this lady has some, her hair is not as dark as the other lady's hair, so the colors that she's wearing are not as dark as the other lady's colors, right? So it's super easy. It's a really good rule of thumb. And then we have lighter hair, you wear lighter colors. Again, it doesn't have to be exact at all, it's just sort of in the vicinity, right? So that looks really wonderful on her. Then we have really medium toned hair, and she's a cool and radiant redhead, by the way, and you can see she looks amazing in a medium toned, not too light, not too dark color. And then we have dark hair, and again, she looks good in a dark color. And I know some people will ask me, well, Miriam, what if I dye my hair? Yeah, if you dye your hair, then your hair is light, so then you'll wear light colors, right? So you can see this lady, when she has dark hair, she looks good in dark colors, and when she has light hair, her coloring is now lower contrast, so she can really wear lighter colors much more easily, and that looks wonderful on her. This lady here can also wear some darker colors even with this hair color, because her eyebrows and her roots do look like they might have some darkness there a little bit. You'd be surprised sometimes how dark your eyebrows are, how dark your roots are, so keep an eye out for that and make sure you don't think that you are lighter than you actually are. So the next question is, does this always work? This does not always work. It doesn't always work because when your main contrasting characteristic is the whites of your eyes and your teeth, and your skin is deep enough to not create too much contrast with your hair, then that could create the effect of, really light colors really bringing you to life and really bringing that glow to your contrast levels and to your coloring. So Lupita is a great example of this, but most of the time I would say that also, just like, a lot of people think they're lighter than they are, a lot of people also think that they're deeper than they are or tanner than they are. So really try to think about this and try to sort of make images of yourself black and white and kind of take a look at the value ranges, and also just sort of trust your eye and trust what you see. If you feel like you look really good in light colors and you don't really look that great in dark colors, then this could be your case. But I also want for everyone to stay tuned, not just the deepest skin tones, because this is an idea that we can extend to really a lot of skin tones. And this is actually why, our blonde friends, our light friends, really look so wonderful when they get a tan and then they wear white. It's the same effect. It's just on a smaller scale, right? And if you're blonde and you have a tan, and you have a low level of contrast between your blonde hair and your skin. Lupita has a low level of contrast between her dark hair and her dark skin. And then if you're blonde and you're really tan, your highest level of contrast is between the whites of your eyes and your skin and your teeth and your skin, just like with Lupita. So it's actually the same effect when if you are blonde and really light and you get a tan and you just love those light colors on you, it's the same effect as this. So the next thing is, some people will tell me, well, I don't want to wear light colors all the time. That's not practical for me. And to that, I would say, just wear some lighter jewelry. That is going to really go a long way. And then you can just even wear a dark top. And I think that looks amazing. So let's take a look at some real life examples of how this works. So of course, option 2 is if your tan or deep light colors are nice. And I'm talking about really light colors, really light colors that are almost white. I'm not really talking about sort of mid to light colors. And you can see this lady. Now, let's not get confused. She does not have the same coloring as Lupita. Lupita has a low level of contrast between her hair and her skin. This lady has a high level of contrast between her hair and her skin. And she has a medium level of contrast between the whites of her eyes and her skin, because her skin is much lighter than Lupita's. Okay, but still she has this effect on a smaller scale, right? You can see how pronounced the effect is on Lupita. She has the same effect on a smaller scale, but I think it looks really lovely. So this is the original image. This looks amazing on her. And then if I alter the image for her to wear black, that also looks really amazing because it picks up on her dark hair and the dark eyelashes and eyebrows that she has. So either works, and this is what I would call a dynamic contrast level, in that she can wear either really dark or really light colors, but I wouldn't recommend something in the middle, because she has, those sort of extremes of having the really dark hair. She has the really bright eyes. So you want to sort of honor that contrast level. And if she wears something that is really close to her skin tone, then that could sort of wash her out, and that could just, make her feel like, this is not really that great. So it's because of the contrast. So then we can talk about this lady. So this lady, we talked about her before. You might think to yourself, oh, well, this wouldn't apply to her, but of course it does apply to her. She looks amazing, with some lighter colors, because she has that tan, that I was talking about, and that looks amazing on her. And it really sort of brings a certain lightness to her look. And Kim Kardashian, she's my color twin. She is the same way. So she looks amazing in these light colors because of that. And we also have this lady. She is warm and delicate, and she looks amazing in this light color for the same reason, simply because it brings out the whites of her eyes, and she's pretty tan. We would have never really thought of her sort of, being tan enough, right? We don't really think much about it. If someone is relatively light and soft in coloring like her, we don't really think about this effect of, the tan with the whites of the eyes. But I think that's why this top looks so amazing on her. And I'd also put her in some, darker colors as well to pick up on her darker roots and her darker eyebrows, because she does have quite dark roots and eyebrows. So even though she looks soft, she has quite a high contrast level. So that is it, you guys. That is all I have to say for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below, and I will talk to you guys next time. Okay,